Hello everybody, this is Artsy, and today I'm going to be trying out a set of glass dip pens. The set came with 6 different pens. As you can see, they're all different colors, and the nibs seem to be different shapes, but I'm not quite sure what that's going to mean for how well they draw. There seems to be 2 of each different style, but like I said, I am not sure what the different tips are going to do for how the ink flows. I did prepare for this video by watching a couple of tutorials on YouTube, and they recommended hanging on to these little plastic protectors because they help protect the nibs when you're done using them. So I'm going to hang on to those. I'm going to put them in a pile over here. Here's the last set. These 2 are similar like the other ones. I'm going to take those nibs off, put them over here. And so there's those nice tips. The other suggestion that was made from the YouTube videos was that we take a look at the tips and make sure that there's no dust or fragments of anything in there, and make sure that they're not cracked. And in this case, these look to be in very good shape. I'm going to do a quick check of these as well. All of those look to be in good shape as well. This is my first time using glass dip pens, so I will be trying to use them on my mixed media by Strathmore. Seeing as I haven't used these before, I'm not going to try anything extravagant. With this set of glass pens came a set of inks as well, and each of these inks seem to have some iridescent shimmer in them. One of the tutorials I watched mentioned that if the glitter is not shaken up into the ink, it can cause the sections of the pen to clog. You don't want that to happen, of course. So see how it's filled with all of these ridges? If I'm not careful, the glitter in my beautiful pigment might clog it up. Here are my 12 pigments that came with the set. I'm going to give these all a shake and then come back when I'm done. Alrighty everybody, I'm back, and I just want to show you the different pigments I have here. I'm going to do a swatch test on my sketchbook here. I'm going to show first a couple of things I learned from the video about how to use these. My set of glass dip pens came with this little water jar, and apparently what you do is you stick it here, and that's how you rinse them. And I'm guessing that you allow them to dry by sticking the nib in the little hole right here and letting it rest in the glass bar on top here. See that? That's my guess. We're gonna give this a try. I'm gonna do one swatch. Unscrew that cap and see how it goes. Oh, it's got a stopper in it. It's in there pretty good, which is nice, because then you know your inks aren't gonna leak. And you can see I already have ink on my fingers. Alright, let's give this a try. So basically, I'm supposed to dip it in and then wait for it to stop dripping. I'm gonna bring this closer to the camera so you all can see. And that held ink a lot better than I thought it was going to. Give a little test scribble here. Trick is to hold it on its side so that the little chambers here touch the paper. I'm gonna get another dip of ink and see if that helps at all. You can just tell it's more fully saturated down here. Try some different styles of lines. They're very interesting. They are not working the way that I thought they were going to. I thought the ink would collect on the tip. But as you see, I'm rubbing the tip on the paper and no ink is coming out. I find that very interesting. Really have to put the pen on its side. Alright, we're gonna give it a rinse and see how the rinsing function works. There's not much movement that you can do in the little bottle here, so I'm just gonna twist it and give it a tap and see. It's gotten out most of the ink, but you can tell it's still pretty green. So I think even though this little glass jar is very convenient, I think these will probably need to be washed by hand after. You can see by the second dip, it's still slightly green, but it's better than it was before. I'm gonna grab a paper towel and see if it's worth just wiping off the extra ink with the paper towel. I will be right back. Alright, I am back with that paper towel. I'm also going to put the cap and the stopper back on this because I know that I will bump it with my elbow and send it careening off my table and make a big mess. Here we go. I also find it interesting that each of them have a symbol on the side. And I wonder if that coordinates to their color at all. Alright, so I'm going to give this a wipe down and see. You can see the green ink coming through on that paper towel. I'm curious to try this one and see if it gives any different of application. So we're gonna try that. I think I'm gonna go for this ink here. Once again, all the glitter collects at the bottom, so I'm gonna make sure to give those a good shape. Take off that lid. There you go, and you can see there's a stopper in there. I'm gonna hang on to the stoppers. I suppose you could get rid of them if you wanted to. I also find it interesting that there's a little bit of ink that collected on the top here. I'm gonna smudge it on my paper and see what happens. It's quite pretty. Alright. I'm gonna put the inkwell right here for me. Give it a dip. And I dipped a little too much because the bulb in the middle there is covered in ink, which is not what I was hoping for. I have to wait for it to stop dripping. There it goes. Alright, let's give this a try. I'm liking the rounder tips better rather than the straighter ones that we just tried out. And I like those, I think, because the channels are a little bit bigger. So there's my Art Z. I think I do like this nib a little bit better. Just gives it a bit more thickness. And it's a little bit easier for me to handle too, I think. Alright. I'm gonna put the stopper back in. And I'm gonna try one more color before I start to swatch everything. There we go. That's good as new. Alright, I've tried out these two. I'm gonna try out this last style. I'm not sure if it's any different than this one that we already tried. They look very similar, but I want to give it a try anyway and just compare. Maybe the channels are a little bit bigger, or it holds the color differently. I already did a green and a purple. I'm gonna try maybe a red. Here we go. So I think this is sort of a pinky red color. All I'm doing when I'm shaking is taking my pointer finger on the bottom and pressing the lid into my palm here and just shaking my wrist like so. And that way, if the cap does come loose for whatever reason, it doesn't explode all over my hand. Alright, let's open up this last one here. Once again, I'm really appreciating those stoppers, which just help the cap from getting covered in ink. No ink in there, which is very nice. And they're definitely quite snug, making it difficult to get out, but I think that's an advantage. Alright, I'm gonna give this a try. Let's dip it in. I'm gonna give it a swirl in here as well and see if that helps me pick up any of the glitter. I'm curious. This is dangerous because I don't want to drop anything. Oh, but see, all of that glitter has gone back to the bottom. That's unfortunate. These are beautiful inks, though. Alright, we're gonna give this a little scribble. You can tell I'm running out of ink here, though. It's very, very dark here, and now it's lightening up just a bit. There we go. I'm gonna pick up my camera so I can show everybody. The thicker inks are over here, and you can just tell because they're darker and the lines are thicker. You can see I started over here. The same with over here with the green ink. And then slowly as each of the grooves is running out, you'll notice that this side is a little bit lighter than the darker ink up there. I'll put the stopper back in. And put the cap back on. I'm going to take a couple minutes in the next sheet of my sketchbook to swatch all the inks and see how they look, and I will be back in a couple minutes. See you then. Alright, so I have one more ink left. I'm going to show you what I've been doing to get the rest of these samples here. Pop out my stopper. I have to get my nail under there. And hopefully not fling ink everywhere. There we go. Okay. And I switched which style of pen I was doing for the first 6, these top 6 here. I used the sort of teardrop shape tip. And then for these bottom 6, I'm using the straighter, more long tip. I'm just gonna dip it in, make sure I have enough ink. So you can see sort of the bottom has a little bit more ink. And you just wanna wipe off tip. Now come in, I've been doing a couple of different mark making designs in order to get a feel for how the tip works. I've been doing just a section of coloring here. And then next to it, I've been drawing the symbol for each one, since they didn't come with names. And so that's the symbol for this ink jar there. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And so I've got my 2 lines, and then I've been doing some zigzags. And some lines across. That way, this allows me to get lines from the different directions that you would move the pen. So there's up and down scribbles, there's holding the pen sideways and just making marks that way, and then the full up and down, and that is nice when you first get a pen full of ink, because you can see how much ink it has initially. I'll bring my phone over top here so that you can see. But you'll notice that the sections of color, these sections here, that I've just been going up and down and up and down, you can see that the pen is holding a lot more ink there, so that they're a lot darker at that point. It's hard to tell with them in the glass jars. I did not realize such the wide spectrum of different colors that are in this set. I think they're beautiful. I also noticed that there is sparkles in those different inks. Oh, it's not focusing for me. There it goes. But you can see that the sparkles do show through. Initially, I couldn't see them, but you can definitely tell they're there. I really liked them in the yellow. Some sparkles in there. There it goes. Oh, there we go. Now you got some sparkle showing. Yeah, so this is a beautiful set of inks. They're all my different colors here. I will put a link to the set that I got in the description. Thank you for watching me using glass dip pens for the first time.